History is an archive of human nature, highlighting all of our behavioral tendencies. Therefore, from time to time, it is important to revisit the past to have a better appreciation of the kinds of questions our society has already dealt with, not only to help us avoid repeating the mistakes of the past, but to make better decisions faster. After all, our time is limited, so gradualism is neither an optimal choice nor even an alternative in the restless pursuit for a just world. Therefore, in today's program, instead of having a guest speaker, we have a selection of music from Black composers and readings of relevance to this month. Our choral music ranges from Portuguese composer from the 16th century, Vincente Lusitano, who gives us an Easter celebration, to We Shall Walk in the Valley in Peace by Undine Smith-Moore, The Willow Tree by Samuel Coleridge-Taylor, to the more recent Song of Praise by Ysaye Barnwell. Now, along with music, an undergraduate student reads a poem by Audre Lorde which communicates fear has no utility at the edge of decision. Another student reads Still I Rise by Maya Angelou, which is about self-respect and confidence. We then have a graduate student read an extract from Martin Luther King's famous speech, I Have a Dream, which reminds us that tranquilizing drug of gradualism is not one that anyone can afford in our quest for a society of equal opportunities. We hope you enjoy our program for today, and thank you for watching us.
Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides. Just like hopes springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes? Shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard? 'Cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide. Welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise.
Is An extract from Martin Luther King's speech, I Have a Dream, delivered on the 28th of August, 1963, at the Lincoln Memorial. We refuse to believe that the Bank of Justice is bankrupt. We refuse to believe that there are insufficient funds in the great vaults of opportunity in this nation. So we have come to cash this check, a check that will give us, upon demand, the riches of freedom and the security of justice. We have also come to this hallowed spot to remind America of the fierce urgency of now. This is no time to engage in the luxury of cooling off or to take the tranquilizing drug of gradualism. Now is the time to make real the promises of democracy. Now is the time to rise from the desolate and dark valley of segregation to the sunlit path of racial justice. Now is the time to open the doors of opportunity to all God's children. Now is the time to lift our nation from the quicksands of racial justice to the solid rock of brotherhood.
The poor souls are slain by a sycamore tree, sing on the green willow, willow, willow. A hand on her bosom, a head on her knee, sing willow, willow, the fresh streams run by her and mud her bones. Sing willow, willow, willow. Her salt tears fell from her and softened the streets. Sing willow, willow, willow. Sing on the green willow, must be my God, and let nobody blame me. He sworn I approve. I called my love false love, but what said he then? Sing willow, willow,
A Litany for Survival by Audre Lorde. For those of us who live at the shoreline, standing upon the constant edges of decision, crucial and alone, for those of us who cannot indulge the passing dreams of choice, who love in doorways coming and going, in the hours between dawns, looking inward and outward, at once before and after, seeking a now that can breed futures, like bread in our children's mouths, so their dreams will not reflect the death of ours. For those of us who are imprinted with fear, like a faint line in the centre of our foreheads, learning to be afraid with our mother's milk, for by this weapon, this illusion of some safety to be found, the heavy-footed hope to silence us. For all of us, this instant and this triumph, we were never meant to survive. And when the sun rises, we are afraid it might not remain. When the sun sets, we are afraid it might not rise in the morning. When our stomachs are full, we are afraid of indigestion. When our stomachs are empty, we are afraid we may never eat again. When we are loved, we are afraid love will vanish. When we are alone, we are afraid love will never return. and when we speak, we are afraid our words will not be heard nor welcomed. But when we are silent, we are still afraid. So it is better to speak, remembering we were never meant to survive.